Next up, we will be taking a look at Ice Demon. This was worked on by Bob Hood of Showertime, a studio owned by Suits and Sandals. And I will say, Bob, this game was really fun to play through. So you have this character I mentioned before in the ending of the last video, Skalkos. This is an ice demon. He's badass, taking out a lot of these fire demons. And throughout the whole game of this arcade, you're trying to rack up a lot of kills in order to unlock other levels. So with Skalkos, you have a variety of abilities, a lot of things. You can actually look like they're taken from other fighting games, like you have a Tatsu from Street Fighter, and you also have the ability to do an uppercut, rapid punches, and one of the coolest things in this game is the ability to dodge. For the most part, all of the attacks can be dodged in some way, and you have to really be smart in how you dodge because there's going to be groups of enemies attacking you from both size, and even bosses that have multiple attacks. It definitely lends itself to the very challenging tag on the website is definitely not lying at all. With these kills that you rack up unlocking these levels, they have these different mechanics that are special to these levels, and as you play through each one, it gets harder and harder. I didn't unlock the last one because you need 300 kills, and I'm a little bit of ways from that, but I did play this game for probably, I would say, maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours, and through that time I got past 200 kills, so I'm getting there slowly. This is one of the games that's pretty damn difficult, but you want to come back to it the next day because something about it is oddly addicting. It's a very simple game, but at the same time it has these mechanics that you have to learn, and being able to utilize different attacks for certain enemies to see how they can be taken out differently and how some can be taken out faster, or some attacks at all, like the uppercut can't even affect the Vikings with the axe. Yeah, it's a lot more than you would initially think about the game. I can see so much more potential in this game, or even the character in the future. The game plays so much better than the previous games. I'm not sure what you did, Bob, but you like really nailed the controls. Like, you can do very short hops with your kick. You can do very long jumps, and it doesn't feel floaty, it doesn't feel weird, it feels exactly how it should. Another awesome thing that the game did was introduce you into the game. You have the option to play the tutorial, which gives you some insight on how some of the enemies work, how your attacks work, even how the bosses work, and how much HP these different enemies contain. And as you fight through them and you have this like practice against them, it's a very great way to actually play through it, along with the tutorial going into the sub modes, being able to play through these different categories of fighting these enemies that you're having trouble with. Definitely lends itself to helping you play through the main mode, which I came back to after practicing. A lot of the issues I had before with some of the enemies I eventually conquered by just playing through the sub modes, and being able to see the different patterns of these enemies helped a lot with getting higher and higher, and it's how I achieved the 200 goal. You have these other modes such as the survival mode, and even the ability to play on an easier mode, which the developer and myself really recommend you starting with the easier mode. Allows you to really get a good grasp of the game and the mechanics and everything. You have these special attacks that you can use to make things a little bit easier as you attack enemies and build up this meter. Again, very reminiscent of a lot of fighting games, which honestly is one of my favorite genres. It would be interesting to see this game expanded in the future, or even a lore. I think this game has a lot of potential. One of the coolest things in the game though is the Chimera. Not only do you have to survive through a hellish onslaught to see how long you can make it through, which I didn't really make it through a lot. In fact, I keep getting wrecked by this boss even though I try to dodge each of his attacks. One of the best things is this boss is actually a secret boss introduced later on. It's a Chimera, destroy all monster girls. I am just really happy with the way Ice Demon turned out. It was a nice break from the previous games of platforming, especially with the improvements that Bob really had in this development cycle. And I can probably say that Sax had a lot of things going into this game in the future that were improvements, probably playing this game from Bob, I would imagine. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, definitely Bob, you did a great job on that, and I am saying Bob a lot. Bob. Oh man, from the base game, I could see other mechanics being added in the future, but so far it's just one of the hidden gems, I would say. Just one of the games that probably had a lot of inspiration from a lot of other games that Bob played through in the past, and hopefully Bob in the future he can expand on Skalkos, maybe have him being introduced as another character. It would be really cool to see him in the future Suits and Sandals game, maybe in Chimera Destroy All Monster Girls. I'm not sure. I don't know. But anyway, everyone, what do you think of this game? Is it a game that you would play? I will leave a link in the description box below, and if you did play it, let me know your thoughts on the game and how far you got in this game. I'm really curious to see how far you got and if you unlocked the 300 kills to get that last level. In the next video, we will be going over Mandu vs. the Colorist Curse. This is a game, probably one of my favorite games, and definitely improvements, huge improvements you'll want to see. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you want to stay up to date with the 12 days of Syaxmas, then feel free to subscribe, as I'm doing all of the games on the website, including a playthrough. If you want to get started, then you can click on this playlist to see the past and future Suits and Sandals games I cover on this channel. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.